It's Sam or Kel here, and today we're basically just explaining or helping people how to get out of bronze. So if you're currently stuck in bronze and you're looking for a way to get out, this might be a good video for you. I know there's a lot of other videos like this around, but I really just want to get some content out there, and this looks like a good place to start. So yeah, bear with me, and I hope you enjoy. So the first way I believe is a good way to get out of bronze is to play a really high CC champion. So CC stands for crowd control, and basically it's an ability or spell that reduces a champion's ability to fight. So this can range from anywhere to Malphite Ultimate to Alistar QE combo. Basically anything from like knockups, snares, stuns, anything like that that stops the enemy fighting, like dishing out their damage or getting to you, is a great way to kind of carry games. As if you have a carry, say the enemy mid lane is fed, right, and you're playing like Thresh or something like that. If you run in with your team, you queue the, I don't know, the fed Victor or something like that, and then you flay them back, ultimate them. That's all CC that pretty much they can't do anything other than flash. So while you're doing that, your team can basically just clusterfuck them, and there's your free kill. You get a shutdown, and now you're back in the game because their carry has been pretty much just fucked by your whole team. I pretty much did this from Bronze 5 all the way up to Silver 2. I know that Silver 2 isn't a very high rank, but I still think it's not that bad. I still have a lot to learn, but yeah, it's willing to admit that for a start that can really get you places. If you're kind of like really shallow-minded and you don't know what's wrong with your own play and you just kind of blame everyone else, and that's really, really poor mindset to have. And you can get out of bronze still with that mindset. I see players that are gold with that mindset, but getting rid of that mindset early and just focusing on your own mistakes and not really looking at your team mistakes before yourself is a really great way to improve as a player. So for the top lane, we've got Malphite, Jarvan, Maokai, and Wukong. All these champions have really good CC. Even though top lane is, in my opinion, the worst role to carry to play to get out of bronze, as you're somewhat isolated from the rest of the team. People will counter-argue this with, oh, just run teleport. But in bronze, teleport is a really tricky spell to use effectively, as well as getting your team to coordinate a teleport. So say you're ganking bot, and you use teleport on a ward behind their bot lane. If you just teleport and then 1v2 them because your bot lane isn't looking at the map and you die, well, you know, it really wasn't effective. And now what's happened is you've given a bot lane a kill and top lane gets free farm or a free tower. So I found that to be not a very good way to carry solo queue, pretty much, playing top lane. You can always just play Aurelia because she's strong as fuck, but yeah, other than that, I really don't recommend playing top lane. So for mid lane, we've got Orianna, Lissandra, and Annie. So Annie obviously has a AoE point and click stun, which is can be very, very game changing. Orianna has a great ultimate as well, and Lissandra also has a great lockdown ultimate as well as a good W for lockdown. So these champions are not that hard to play. Orianna's probably the hardest of the three there. I'd highly recommend Annie because she's not a very mechanically challenging champion, and her ultimate and spells just do fucking tons of damage, and it's not that hard to play her, so I recommend her. Things like Azir are very good, but in bronze I wouldn't recommend it because he takes a lot of mechanical skill. Like, people in Masters and Diamond, like, even those players aren't that good at Azir. So mid lane's great for carrying solo queue, as you're centered in the middle of the map and you can do a ton of damage. Like, you're pretty much the only AP on the team unless you get an AP jungler or support. So the enemy team's probably not going to be itemizing against you that much unless you're like 15-0 or something like that. And even in bronze, a lot of players don't know how to itemize. So I think it's a really good role to carry in, as you can go top, you can go bot. You know, if a lane's losing, you can always roam, and I think it's a really game-changing role. That's why you'll see a lot of Smurfs or people that claim to be Smurfs want to play mid lane. So in the jungle we have Gragas, Vi, and Wukong. These are all again really high CC champions. Vi and Wukong also carry a lot of damage even if you don't build many damage items on them. For example, Vi, all you need to do is build a Triforce and then you can go like, I don't know, Randuin's Spirit Visage, just something like that to itemize against the enemy carries. And you can pretty much just dive their backline with a point and click ultimate, which is really silly. And yeah, it's just really good for picking off someone who's fed on the enemy team. Gragas is a bit more mechanically challenging, I suppose. His ultimate is hard to land, but if you master it, it can really swing fights. Like, you can pretty much remove the enemy tanks from the enemy carries just by using one ultimate. And yeah, it can really win team fights. So I recommend Gragas if you have a lot of time to put into a champion and you also enjoy him. Jungle is a great role to play in solo queue, as you pretty much gank for every lane, or you should be, and you can get your team members ahead just by helping them kill the enemy lanes. It's also really good because, like a mid lane, you can pretty much roam to every lane, and even if you've got like a lane that's doing really poorly, you can go and gank, or you can just completely ignore them. Like, it's up to you. The strategical sort of, I don't know, the strategical mindset of jungling, I suppose. Like, it's you've just got to sort of be looking around the map at all times and figuring out what you want to do. It's really quite interesting. So, jungle, I suppose, I used it to get out of bronze as well as playing support. I don't like carrying that much. I don't really. You're meant to carry to get out of solo queue, right? But I do it in a sort of supportive way because I don't like having all the pressure of having all the damage just on me, because if I fuck up, then the whole team's pretty much done for. So I like playing things like jungle and support, where you kind of assist other people to get fed and then sort of help them out along the way of carrying the team, but you're not doing it specifically yourself. So if you're like me and want to do that, I highly recommend it. As you can see here, I main Thresh. He's a really great character to play in solo queue. I pretty much played him from Silver 5 to Silver 2, just by getting your 80 carry fed, and you can roam mid lane as well and get them fed. Also with Thresh, he kind of just does everything. Like, he can peel with his E, he can peel with his ultimate, he can peel with his Q, but he can also engage with all three of those as well. He also has a W, which can pretty much save teammates, and I've done it so many times. So, yeah, if you're looking to play someone like that, then Thresh is a really good option, and he kind of fits into any team comp, so it's a really good champion to play. On AD carry, the champions I recommend range from Sivir, Jinx, and Tristana. Sivir's got a great ultimate who can kind of just help engage. Jinx brings a fair amount of CC and damage late game. And Tristana is just an all-round great AD carry who can push really well and does tons of damage late game. I highly, highly recommend not playing champions like Vayne, Draven, and Kalista, because they're really, really highly mechanically demanding, and in solo queue, especially in bronze, you don't really want to be looking to play high mechanical based champions, because all you want to do is carry with really simple champions. And playing things like Vayne, it's sort of, sure, she can do really well and she can carry really well, but if you're in bronze, your mechanics probably aren't good enough to carry with someone like Vayne. So I really don't recommend playing those champions. On support, I've listed things like Braum, Leona, Nautilus, Thresh, and Alistar. These are all amazing supports with a lot of CC built into their kit who end up extremely tanky late game. Support is a great role to carry pretty much, as you can carry yourself out of bronze with it like I did. It's not the worst role to carry with, as many assume. People just look at damage and they're like, oh, support doesn't do damage, so therefore they can't carry. Which is really kind of a shallow mindset, and yeah, I've explained already why support is a great role to carry on, so give it a shot. I highly recommend playing it, as long as you kind of know what you're doing on support. It's not as hard as the other roles, I'll put it pretty straight out there. Having so much CC allows you to make big plays and pick off enemy carries who could be like super fed. So say you've got a Victor who's 10-0, and yeah, you roam mid lane, you catch him, and then yeah, you're back in it. So yeah, support is a great role to play. The second kind of tip I have is picking a champion picking a champion and mastering it. So a lot of people argue against this because they don't like the idea of just being able to play one champion and that's it. Because then if your champion gets picked, then you're kind of screwed over, right? But what I recommend is trying to not you're not going to master two champions from every role, but try to be at least sound on those champions. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know their passive, their Q, E, their W, their R, and then just little things like that. So then you don't have to think about it during the game, and you can focus on the broader picture, I guess. So picking a champion that you really enjoy playing and maining it out of bronze is, in my opinion, a very good strategy. Being comfortable on a champion prior to playing lets you focus on focus on other aspects of the game, and allows you to outplay your opponents. When picking a champion to main, look for a champion who isn't picked often in a role that isn't hotly contested. I main Thresh, and I played him from Bronze 5 to Silver 2, and it works wonders. Being able to play him every game on support, as it's usually not contested, like you're not going to see 5 people ask for support in solo queue, right? It just doesn't happen. It's just a really good strategy, in my opinion, maining support. I'm obviously very biased because I'm a support main, but being able to get your role pretty much every game because nobody really wants to play it, and then being able to get your champion based off that because not a lot of people ban supports, right? You're going to ban, like, at least right now, you're going to ban like Elise and things like that because they're sort of flavor of the month, and that's what bans are like in solo queue. So yeah, I really recommend just maining a champion and playing it. Anyway, that's it for my video, guys. I know it's not very it's not very entertaining, but it's just my first time video, and if you've stuck around this long, then I don't know, you must have some mental disorder because I don't know how you could have enjoyed this. But yeah, anyway, that's about it from me, guys. This is my first ever video, so if you stuck around this long, I thank you a lot. Thanks, and I look forward to seeing you here again soon.